Who hasn't looked at a mushroom before and thought to themselves, I wonder if this little fungi is sentient and has kingdoms and armies and wars and an entire civilization that we just don't know about? Well, Zillion Wells has brought your dreams to life, and not once, but twice evidently, in a game called Mushroom Wars and now Mushroom Wars 2. A real-time strategy series where you try your hardest to conquer the entire landscape with your army of fungi battling against opposing fungi. In our review today, we'll be covering the second entry into the series that has just been released on the PlayStation Network or the PlayStation Store, Mushroom Wars 2. Before we dive too far into that, welcome to the Ogle's channel. Thanks for watching today. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button down below for your latest in gaming news, reviews, content, and a lot of retro stuff on here as well. Now to be upfront, I did get a review copy of Mushroom Wars 2. However, that doesn't affect my review in any form or fashion. My reviews are honest, and I give you the best review that I can of the game. However, that being said, I do really enjoy this game a lot. It's addictive, it's simple, but yeah, it's got a lot of complex strategies if you really get into it and try some of the harder difficulty or the multiplayer. But let's go ahead and just dive into it and break it down and see what Mushroom Wars 2 is all about. Mushroom Wars 2, commonly abbreviated as MW2, not to be confused with Modern Warfare 2, is divided into two main parts, the single player campaign and the multiplayer. The single player is where you go to learn how to play the game as well as go through some predetermined skirmishes to either defeat the enemy team, take over core buildings, or work your way around the boss with your army of fungi. The gameplay is very simple and is easy to understand. You generally start with control of a single village filled with your mushroom soldiers, and you command these soldiers to leave to conquer other structures nearby or sacrifice those soldiers to upgrade your village. When you go to conquer a nearby structure, you just simply have to send more soldiers than what currently occupies it to gain control. When you gain control, you take on the abilities of that structure. The structures are either villages, which produce troops, towers to defend and fire upon enemy soldiers, or forges, which increase your attack and defense power. Each of these structures, except for forges, can be upgraded, which allows for faster production of troops, more defense abilities for the towers, or converted to being another building. You have to be on the lookout though as you are growing your army and your territory because the opposing team is doing the same thing, and it's just a matter of time before you will clash with them and have a miniature mushroom war. While this sounds small, you can have hundreds of mushroom troops flooding the map as you are taking over each other's areas. And the more successful that you are at either attacking or successful at defending, the more stars you will get for your morale. And morale is a huge determining factor in this game, because if you have a high morale, you're going to dominate the other team. If you have a low morale, you better just sit back and not attack for a while until you get your morale up by upgrading some buildings and such. And of course, as you are attacking and defending your areas, you do have special abilities as well, such as increasing your morale by 1 star, sending out ninja mushroom troops, speeding your troops up, or just simply adding extra defense to particular buildings. These all regenerate over time for your abilities, and while playing in single player mode, you only really get to choose one, but in multiplayer, you can choose from a lot more, we'll get to in a second. But the campaign mode, if played on easy, is indeed very easy. But if you play on the harder difficulties, you truly have to plan out your strategies to occupy the area, and things can go sour very fast for you. The campaign can take hours to complete if you're playing the harder difficulties. If you're a fan of real-time strategy, it will keep you entertained the entire time. The multiplayer is arguably the biggest and most engrossing part of the game though. Here you play ranked matches, free-for-all, or co-op. The gameplay is nearly the same as the campaign mode, but your choice in team does allow for you to have special abilities of other groups such as invisibility, faster troops, teleportation, and much more. As far as I could tell, the abilities were pretty evenly distributed where no team has a clear advantage or better than the other teams. However, I'm sure experts at the game will have their favorites to play as. Matches never last very long as they're very fast paced, usually under 10 minutes. Also, if you hesitate too much, the enemies are sure to have you conquered in no time. It's very frantic and a fun game and brings me back to my old PC days when some of the best real-time strategies were produced. And generally, I like real-time strategies on PC better just because of the way they control. But despite being on a console, the controls on Mushroom Wars 2 are very easy to get used to with very specific button combos to command troops, how many troops you want to command, what buildings to construct, and more. It's probably the best adaptation of a real-time strategy game that I've seen on a modern console. However, despite controlling so well, the menus themselves could use a little bit of tweaking, especially for the local multiplayer, because sometimes you want to go back just one screen. It makes you go back all the way to the beginning, and it's just a little bit of a hassle. And also a quick restart at the end of a match, or just simply to rematch at the close of a match, that'd be a huge plus as well. Minor stuff, but the menus and the options could do a little bit better, especially for the multiplayer. But the gameplay and controls are top notch on this game, and that's what players are going to gravitate towards. But it's at least noteworthy to mention that the aesthetics and the atmosphere of this game are quite enjoyable as well. The world is cartoony and the various landscapes have plenty of obstacles and landmarks to make the maps unique, and I also like how despite the game being cartoony, the cutscenes tries to depict the game as dark and gritty, which to me has been done as a comedic effect because the game is so wacky. I just enjoy that contrast. Now, this is a review for the PlayStation 4 version or the PlayStation 5 version, but this game is also on the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox, and PC with nearly the exact same gameplay. It sells for $20 on the PlayStation Store, usually $20 on the eShop. It's on sale currently for $6, and a lot of times on Steam for $15 if it's not on sale as well. And so, is this game worth the full price of $20? Well, for me, I'd say definitely, because I enjoy a great real-time strategy games. It brings me back a lot of the old memories from years ago when real-time strategy games were more common, and Mushroom Kingdoms does it fantastically on the console. So to me, I definitely recommend it for $20. But what do you guys think? Does Mushroom Wars 2 seem like a game down your alley? Which platform are you most likely to pick it up for? The Switch, the PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and as always, go out there, find a great game to play, and just simply have a great rest of the day.